In this movie, I want to consider some additional assets that come with Unity that we can add to our scenes. You can see that by moving to the Game Object menu and choosing 3D Object, we can add some basic primitives to the scene. But this really isn't very much at all for cubes, spheres, capsules. For as far as these go, they're absolutely fine, but it would be great if we can get some additional content. And thankfully, Unity ships with an asset package that we can install into our scene to give us access to additional content. And we can install that into our projects by choosing Assets, Import Package, and we get a range of different packages that come with pre-made content that we can add to our projects. In particular, I want to use the prototyping package because it comes with a lot of additional meshes that we can drag and drop into our scene to quickly assemble levels. Now, if you're choosing Assets Import Package and you don't see these packages listed here in this list, then it is probably because you haven't installed the standard asset packages during the Unity installation. If that is the case, then it's not a problem. You can add them after the fact. To do that, you'll need to go back to the Unity website and visit the Unity Download Archive. I'm just going to bring a web browser into view with the Download Archive activated here inside the web browser window. And if I scroll down inside the Unity Download Archive under the latest version, which for me is Unity 5.6.0, I can download the standard assets by clicking in the drop down here to indicate the thing that I want to download. And in this case, I want to download the standard assets and make sure that the Mac platform is selected here to download those assets for Mac. When you do this, this will download the standard assets package that you can install to your computer. And once that is installed and you go back to Unity here, you'll find that when you choose Assets, Import Package, you'll get the list of import packages here that you can add to your scene. So I want to start by adding the prototyping package. To do this, I'm going to select the prototyping option here from the menu. And when I select that, Unity will begin to prepare that package and show me the import dialog. I'm just going to resize this to fit into the recording window. And I can scroll through this list. You can see that there are checkboxes for each of the assets to import. Now, by default, all of these assets are enabled, which means that when I choose the import button, then all of these files will be added to the project panel. I'm going to leave all the defaults activated and simply choose import. And when I do that, Unity will go ahead and begin to import my asset packages. Now, it may take a few minutes depending on the size of the package that you're importing and the extent and all the assets that you have selected. But once the package has successfully imported, inside the project panel, it will have created a folder called Standard Assets. By double-clicking on that folder, I can bring up more information and more assets. So in this case, here are 4 subfolders. I can also view them. Let me just expand this on the left-hand side. I can also view them from the Favorites section by expanding the twirly icon and revealing the folders, and I can dig down deeper into as many subfolders as there are. If I open the Prototyping Packages folder, you can see that we get a range of different assets imported into the project, including materials, models, prefabs, shaders, textures. We're going to be seeing throughout this course a lot of what these different things are. If I open the prefabs folder, for example, you'll find that we've got a huge range of different assets. For example, if I select, let's say, the house prototype, I'm just going to select it once by left-clicking on that. And when I do that, you can see here inside the Object Inspector, we get properties about that house. We also get a preview of the house asset, and I can even click and drag inside the preview window to rotate around the asset. Now, this asset has not yet been added to the level. We can confirm that because inside the hierarchy panel, we don't have that asset listed. These are simply assets or part of a library that I can drag and drop into the level to add. So I'm going to add this house prototype to the level. To do that, I just need to drag and drop this from the project panel into the level and then release my mouse. And I'm just going to zoom out a bit just to kind of see what has been added here. So this house has now been added. it's been added to this rather awkward position, which I can see from the transform component inside the object inspector. So I'm simply going to reset this back to the world origin here, like so. So that resets the object back to the world origin, and you can see this is being positioned to the origin here. So I might choose to add some other things here. For example, I have this floor object that I can drag and drop into the level. So I've added the floor prototype. Again, I can kind of match that up inside the scene. So that's looking pretty good. Again, we have some other things that we can also add. For example, I can select the steps prototype by selecting that, and you'll see that what we've actually got here are some steps. So again, I can drag and drop those into the level so that we have a step object in the scene. And actually I can select this and choose Control D or Command D to duplicate that. And I can kind of move the steps up into place to kind of position these together to form a more continuous stairway going upwards here. So that's looking pretty good. We managed to get all these objects added to the scene just by importing the prototyping assets package. So just to reiterate, to import the prototyping assets, you just need to choose Assets, Import Package, Prototyping. Notice that from this list, there are a range of other packages too. And in the next movie, we're going to take a look at another one to see what incredible content we can get from that package.